Hey everyone, welcome back. A few bits of Star Citizen and Squadron 42 news to run through today, including what is now live, what is still coming in the 4.7 cycle, and a genuinely interesting update around hacking. Alpha 4.71 has launched. It brings the MISC Hull B, the Greycat UTV, the Captains of Industry promotion, and a free fly event that kicked off alongside it. The real behind the ships episode covering the Hull B is now out alongside a Q&A, so let us run through the key points on the ship itself. The Hull B sits between the Hull A and the Hull C in terms of scale and role. The Hull A is your entry point into cargo hauling, and the Hull C is for serious long-haul interstellar runs. The Hull B is closer to the Hull A in terms of how it plays day to day, but with considerably more capacity and without the more complex setup flow of the Hull C. It holds 512 SCU of cargo across up to 1632 SCU crates, which puts it in similar territory to the Caterpillar in terms of raw capacity. Hull B is a medium-sized ship rather than large, which means it has access to significantly more landing locations across the verse since. Medium hangars are far more common than large ones. Like the rest of the Hull series, it uses an extending and retracting spindle system in the center section. When collapsed, it has a surprisingly small and clean silhouette. When extended, it opens out into the full cargo configuration. It is quite an engineering feat how much grid they have packed into the collapsed form. Loading and unloading is designed to be fast. The co-pilot has access to two front-facing remote tractor beam turrets, which means cargo can be attached and detached without having to thread large containers through doorways. External cargo loads quickly, but it also means someone else can unload you just as quickly if you find yourself in a bad situation, so route and location awareness matters with this ship. One notable design change from the original concept. The Hull B was originally promised to land with its full cargo capacity, using a cross arrangement like the Hull A and C. As the cargo system evolved, it simply was not feasible without the landing gear becoming impractically long. After multiple concept iterations, the team settled on rotating the arrangement 45 degrees into the X configuration you see today. It still looks great open or closed, and it still holds the full cargo capacity when landed. Inside the ship has a proper cruise setup. There is an entrance area with suit and weapon lockers, a personnel lift leading up to engineering, which houses the main components and the spindle mechanism, a mess hall with a two-seat table, and a kitchen, a habitation area with a bunk bed, desk and bathroom, and a bridge that CIG has pushed the pilot and co-pilot seats further forward on compared to previous MISC ships to improve forward visibility. The MISC dashboard star has been a point of discussion historically, and CIG has been conscious of that with this build. After 4.7.1, there is still more coming before 4.8 arrives. Alpha 4.7.2 is a couple of weeks out, and it is bringing a substantial expansion to Nick's mission content. More missions tied to the QV breaker stations, bombing runs, destroy item objectives, and the return of courier and delivery missions. These will make use of the rockless breaker station variants, which are the sites without an asteroid to crack, but with plenty of loot, enemies, and other reasons to visit. Nyx is genuinely close to being a fully fledged system at this point. The planets are on a star map now, even if they are not accessible yet. Once those open up and the mission content is fully built out, it is going to be a compelling place to operate in. On the Squadron 42 front, there is no new release date information. It is still expected this year, and CIG has not indicated otherwise. What is interesting is how much of Squadron 42's underlying work is starting to show up in the persistent universe. The armor damage and shield changes in 4.7 are a direct reflection of systems that have been built out for Squadron 42. The Maelstrom physical damage system was reported to be around 80% complete across Squadron's vehicles at CitizenCon 2 years ago, and it has almost certainly progressed considerably since then. When Maelstrom eventually makes its way to the PU, it is going to be one of the most significant changes the game has seen. The same applies to Starware. The flight suit G-force resistance modifiers coming in 4.8 are described as the first iteration of a broader system where clothing and armor choices carry meaningful stat differences. That system will already be well established in Squadron 42 across all of the armors and outfits used throughout the campaign. Now, the part of the Squadron 42 newsletter that really caught attention is the Bearing OmniLink hacking device. It is described as a handheld crypto key for computer infiltration, and it is the first time we have seen this piece of equipment shown officially. Paired with the March monthly report, which confirmed the core gameplay team spent part of the month polishing the hacking mechanic, improving the tutorial, and refining the UI, it is becoming Increasingly clear that hacking is not far from release. The last time CIG talked publicly about how hacking would actually work, they described two possible approaches. A real-world style option involving typing to gain access to systems, and a more arcade approach similar to navigating a maze while avoiding security programs. Shortly after that, a developer mentioned they had a new idea they wanted to explore, and then nothing further was shared. The tutorial work mentioned in the monthly report suggests whatever that final design ended up being, it is now polished enough to be taught to players. When hacking does arrive, it is going to open up a significant amount of new gameplay. Locking and unlocking storage containers, hacking doors on ships and locations, interfacing with ship systems remotely, and eventually data running, a hauling adjacent profession built around gathering, intercepting, and transporting data. Whether hacking lands in 4.8 or 4.9 is unclear, given it has not appeared on the roadmap yet, but 4.9 feels like the more realistic window. Either way, it is closer than it has ever been. That is everything worth covering today. 4.7.1 is live, 4.7.2 is a couple of weeks out, and hacking is quietly getting very close to being ready. Thanks for watching everyone, and I will catch you in the verse.